Hello friends, how are you all doing? My name is Shaz, short for Scheherazade, and I love colorful makeup. Today we're going to do another one of the to buy or not to buy series videos where I look at whatever has released or is going to release and has been sneak peeked by different brands, and I'm going to tell you what my thoughts are on them. At the same time, I'm also going to do my eye look with the It's Freaking Bats palette from Shroud. This palette is, I believe this came out in the fall of 2020. It's absolutely gorgeous palette. I think it was ahead of its time. It was so innovative for 2020. It's still totally relevant. So I'm going to do my eye look with this palette. And if you haven't noticed, it's spooky season, so a lot of these palettes, not all of them, but a lot of them are going to be very spooky. And I've tried to create the theme. I have my earrings, I have my nails all spooky, and I have a candle over there. You guys can't see it. I have my pumpkin spice candle also burning over there, so the whole air is smelling like pumpkin spice right now. So the theme is totally created. Let's jump right in. Hide my wallet, please, because there is a lot of stuff coming out that I absolutely love. And this is my season. I love fall. I love the color schemes of the fall. I'm using Painterly by MAC on my eyes. Halloween is totally my type of thing, and fall is my favorite season. I love all the foods of the fall, smells of the fall, everything. A change of colors, weather. I love fall. So, and my birthday is also in the fall. So, my favorite time of the year, which is why hide my wallet. It's going to be dangerous this month. The first item I want to talk about is Sugar Drizzle's new release, which is an all matte palette. Now, we've seen other mattes from Sugar Drizzle, right? So this is an all matte palette that is 90% purple and has a couple of teals sprinkled here and there. It's going to launch in 10-ish minutes from when I'm filming on the 17th at noon. It's around $42. I love Sugar Drizzle, fantastic brand. If you don't own a lot of really high-end expensive multichromes and you just want to kind of dabble your fingers into some multichromes, I highly recommend some of their products. I'm going to talk about them in this channel in the future, but this palette could have been reduced to a 9-pan and then I would have been very interested. These different shades of purple are not going to show that different on your eyes. The similar colors aren't swatched next to each other, otherwise you would have noticed that they're very redundant. Okay folks, I'm going into the palette with the color Spooky. The next thing we're going to talk about is the new Naked palette. This is in collaboration with an artist called Eisenberg. I didn't even know anything about this palette until I started seeing a couple of YouTubers sort of enthusiasm about this palette coming out. But folks, I'm not getting the hype. Isn't this yet another neutral palette with a pop of blue? And neutral palettes with a pop of blue was a thing in late 2018, right? End of 2018 was when neutral palettes with a pop of blue was a thing. And everybody's excited about this. Why? I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Let's move on. The next one I'm going to talk about is a collaboration between Gourmande and I believe Doodles by the Bunny has done the artwork on the top. I think Doodles by the Bunny is her Instagram handle, and she's an artist and she's just fabulous. Love her designs. I'm so excited to see the inside of this palette. I don't own anything by Gourmande Girls, but it's one of those brands that I'm watching to find that first palette that I'm excited to purchase, which is why I'm very excited to see the inside. So I'm waiting for the reveal. Bella Beauté Bar, which is a brand we've seen a lot of things from recently and I've talked about multiple times in the past. That is another one of those brands that I also kind of watch from afar, is releasing a palette called Strange and Unusual. I think this palette has a Beetlejuice theme. The palette's gonna have 4 multichromes, 1 iridescent multichrome, 4 duochromes, and 5 mattes, and 1 matte sparkle. And it's going to release on September 20th at 8 p.m. EST. Folks, I'm actually excited about this palette. It's a little pricey. On their Instagram page, it says that it's $70. $70 is a little bit over what I'm willing to pay for a 15-pan palette, but you never know. Maybe I changed my mind. I think I've mentioned in my other to buy or not to buy videos that when thinking about picking up a palette, I'm looking for something different and very innovative and new. And those are some of the things I'm seeing from Bella Beauté Bar. Their recent releases have all been something that I kind of did multiple double takes on. Is that even a thing? Multiple takes on. This next one I've been kind of eyeing. This is Nomad's Hudson Valley. I'm gonna go into this one with a packing brush. I'm waiting to see what the palette looks like. My review of their last palette, the Monteverde palette, is on this channel. And I really like the color story in that palette. I really also like the shimmers. I thought the shimmers were very unique in terms of the color. Those types of colors I haven't seen in other brands. However, I also did eye looks with their Fête de Provence palette, and I unfortunately had no luck with the Fête de Provence palette. The palette did not perform at all. The mattes were extremely dry. They would just blend into dust and wipe off my eyes. And honestly, I'm still debating if I should post that video at all because it was just a bad experience with the palette. But on the positive side, I contacted the brand just to tell them my experience with the palette, and they were so kind to send me another palette. So I was gonna use the palette they sent me and test it out again just to see maybe I got a dud the first time. And because of that, I'm kind of hesitating about this palette. I feel super excited about the color story. So far, they have revealed 8 shades. All of these shades are mattes, and unfortunately, my not so positive experience with the Fête de Provence palette was with the mattes, which is why I'm like, how many mattes is this palette gonna have? But I might change my mind and pick it up because the color story is just super fall and is super beautiful. And Hudson Valley, if I remember correctly, is sort of near Sleepy Hollow and, you know, all the spooky stuff, and all of that is totally my vibe. However, at the same time, there's a whole lot of other things coming out. So maybe I prioritize something else and I wait for some reviews before I pick this palette up. Let me know what your thoughts are on this. Let me know if you've picked up the Fête de Provence palette and what your experience has been. I'm so curious. Let's talk about Unearthly Cosmetics. There's a bunch of things. First, let's talk about the Vitality palette. It came out a while ago. I don't think I ever talked about it in this channel. I actually haven't done a to buy or not to buy video in a couple of weeks, if not longer, because I've been out of town. I was visiting families. It's a beautiful palette. Can I call this palette yet another rainbow? Maybe. I don't own anything by Unearthly Cosmetics, yet another brand that I'm kind of eyeing and waiting for that first thing to purchase from. When this palette was revealed, it reminded me a lot of Michaela's first palette with Glamlight. Honestly, the color story is very similar, which is part of the reason why I thought, you know what, I'm just going to go use that palette a little more often. In fact, I don't even use that palette that often. That's part of the reason why I wasn't drawn to this color story. However, they have done a collaboration recently, and I think this came out last week, with Chipogray. The name of the palette is Rudo Rawamani. I'm so sorry if I'm mispronouncing this. I don't know what language that is. If I had to guess, I'm particularly based on the outfit of the lady on the palette. I would say this is probably Nigerian or somewhere in West Africa. I don't think I've ever talked about this here. I lived in East Africa for a little bit. Do I know anything about Africa? Not enough, but I've been to some African countries. Fantastic continent, would love to travel some more there. There's a lot of very, very exciting things coming up that look unique. And this palette, although absolutely beautiful and super colorful and totally up my alley, doesn't pass that bar for uniqueness. Like literally you have to have a couple of very unique colors in there that in my head I think, oh, I have never seen that before. And when I'm saying that, for example, a couple of the shimmers in the Nomad Monteverde palette, watch my video. They're so unique and so beautiful. So those are the types of colors I'm talking about. This palette is available already. It's sold on the website. It's $40. It has 8 mattes and 4 shimmers. Next thing from Nomad is the mystery box they came out with. I don't know if it's coming back. I'm just looking on the site and it says sold out. And folks, I picked this up because I'm just curious. They said, or are saying in the description, that nothing in the box is something they have on the website. So I was just curious to see what's in there. And I used someone's code, so I didn't actually pay $100. I paid less than $100. So I'm gonna definitely do a video for you in this channel about this box. When I get it, it's supposed to have 7 items that are exclusive to this launch. And on their Instagram channel, they have done a reveal of products that are designed for the spooky season. I'm guessing these are eyeshadow palettes. They haven't revealed what they are, nor color stories or anything. So I'm super excited about that. Are they designed for this box? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see, I suppose. Those might be something that I will be interested in picking up. You know, all of the weirdo theme and all of that is stuff that I'm excited about. So we'll see. We'll see. Okay, the next items we're going to talk about are from Pink Crush. A lot of their palettes are super colorful and unique. I love the color stories and so on. I don't think I ever talked about Origins Unknown after it was unveiled. It's a nice palette. It's a little too neutral and too darkish for me. I really like the dark neon green, but I don't want to buy a palette for just one color. And the rest of the colors I feel like I have. In fact, that palette reminds me of this palette. Definitely don't want to dupe of something I already have, but they have brought back the Witch Please palette. I think this was a palette they released last year. I don't own the palette, but the color story is super beautiful and I'm intrigued. And it's $30 and it's available. Please, somebody hide my wallet. I'm tapping the NYX's glitter primer on my eye. Shine by SD has released 3 6-pan palettes. They're already available on their website and they are between $30 and $40. I'm gonna go into the lime green and I'm gonna tap it on my eye. At the same time, they also released their Fantasy 2.0 collection, which is a collection of 4 metallic multichrome shades. Folks, I bought their Duality collection in the last restock. I think that product is now completely out of stock and it's never going to come back. And these products launched on the same day, so I picked them up. On the website, it says that the shipping date is September 16th, which was yesterday. I haven't received any shipping confirmation, but I'm guessing I'm going to receive these soon, and you're going to see them in this channel when I do. Next thing we're going to talk about is also something that was released already. TropiColor, which is an eyeshadow palette collaboration between Tina from the Fancy Face and Sydney Grace. This palette is very neutral leaning, which is the reason why I'm not going to pick it up, but many congratulations to Tina on this collaboration. And next thing is going to be our Colourpop collaboration of the week, and it is the Harry Potter collection collaboration. I'm using this color. I'm going to do it in the center of my eye. I think when the first book came out, I was already in my late teens, so I'm a little old for Harry Potter, but I've seen all the movies and so on. I'm not one of those gigantic Harry Potter fanatics or anything. So when I saw this collection come out, the only thing that I thought, oh, this would be nice to test are the colorful eyeliners. However, it seems like the creator of Harry Potter has had a lot of controversy recently. And it seems like she's just not been very respectful to groups of people that I care about. And with all the fantastic products out there, I don't see any reason why I should even spend a minute talking about this. So moving on. Okay, folks, Terra Moons mentioned somewhere that they're going to be releasing I think they said a 12-pan palette. I even remember them releasing an image that was sort of a sneak peek to the palette, but I believe it was black and white. Terra Moons is one of my absolute favorite brands. I own a lot of stuff from Terra Moons. I obviously have invested a lot of money in purchasing stuff from Terra Moons, and it's one of those brands that has a lot of very new and innovative things, which is part of the reason that it's appealing to me. And I believe it's a Latin-owned brand, which is also another thing that's appealing to me. I always want to support diversity. I always want to support women-owned businesses. So long story short, if the palette comes out and when the palette comes out, I'm buying it. Okay, so this next one, oh my God, folks, I'm so excited about this. I talked about this release in my last To Buy or Not to Buy. Glaminatrix is releasing a palette called the Glamorous palette. When I did the last video, it wasn't revealed yet. Now it's revealed. Now we have all the colors, and guess what? It's 100% my type of color story. I'm buying this palette. For all you US folks, it's launching Saturday 24th of September at 6 p.m. EST, which would be Sunday the 25th at 8 a.m. Australian time. I think this is Brisbane time. I actually don't know if Australia has multiple time zones, but anyway, the palette's gonna be $57 USD. I'm buying it. Need I say more? They mentioned on their Instagram that when they launch this, they're gonna have a small restock of the Sandra Rose palette. That's a palette I do not have, but folks, Glaminatrix is my newfound favorite brand. And you never know, when I buy that, I might end up buying a bunch of other stuff, because usually when you're ordering from that far away, it's worth more to order a bunch of stuff to make up for the extra money you're gonna pay for shipping. Folks, this one totally caught my eyes. I don't know how I didn't hear about this. I'm gonna go into this color, Sam. It seems like they already released and sold out of this palette, and the palette's name is Rusted Essence. The palette's $25 on their website. So they sold out of the original stack that had holographic background. And now they said, you know, we can re-release this palette, so you can pre-order it on their website, but it's gonna have just green background. And it seems like the original had square pans, and now the new one is gonna have round pans. Do I care about the pan shape? No. Do I care about the background color? No. The swatches are divine. If they're gonna look like that, bye paycheck. Like, seriously. The palette's gonna have mattes, duochromes, and multichromes. And yes, I do see a couple of those colors do look like multichromes. So for that price, if they really swatch like this. Okay, friends, so this next one is the collaboration between Shroud Cosmetics and Betty Jean, or Batty Bean. The name of the palette is Hollow Bean, and you know what? I already purchased this. I absolutely love Betty Jean's channel. I also think she lives in Gainesville. I have a lot of fond memories in Gainesville, so every time she posts, she kind of reminds me of my Gainesville years. I really enjoy her channel, which is part of the reason I wanted to support her. So I purchased this palette, and of course, I also purchased her first palette. Okay, folks, this is another thing I wanted to talk about. There's a brand out there called Shall We Makeup, and I think I've mentioned in the past that I'm very interested in international indie brands as well. I don't know how I learned about this palette. Probably Instagram showed me an ad or something somewhere, and that multichrome red in this palette totally sold me on this palette, because the red to green multichrome is a color I don't think I own. So this is another thing that I've purchased from the stuff that's released recently. So stay tuned for my video about this palette. I know it's already shipped from China, so I'm looking forward to receiving it any day now. Okay, so the next item we're gonna talk about is the Night of Creation collection by Kaleidos. I own a lot of stuff from Kaleidos. I think I did a lot of purchases on Kaleidos' website last year, but I haven't ordered any of the recent collections because they have been mostly neutral color. And the only thing that excites me about this collection is the multichrome eyeliners. However, it doesn't justify paying $20 or something for shipping from China just for those liners. So if they come up with other things in the future and I'm buying something else that is more up my alley in terms of color story, I might add a couple of liner here and there to that order, but we'll see. I don't think I ever got to talk about this next one. This is also already available. This is a Noctilucent highlighter palette by Blend Bunny. Noctilucent means glow in the dark, right? Or glow at night. Noctilucent, it's Latin. But anyway, it's $40. It's already available, not even sold out. You can purchase it. I own a lot of highlighters, and I don't think I use the highlighters I own enough, which is part of the reason why I didn't purchase this palette, but you all know how I feel about Blend Bunny. I own everything else that they sell. Okay, I'm using the same brush that I used for Derby, and I'm just gonna do my under eye. And this next one, folks, oh my God. NBA Cosmetics, and I think we've talked about NBA Cosmetics in this channel in the past. They now have a bunch of new things. So I think we talked about the Florges palette, which was a 9-pan last time. Now they've released the Flamboyant palette, which is $28, and it is different shades of purple and pink. Totally up my alley. And they've also released another 9-pan palette for the fall, Pumpkin Kisses and Autumn Wishes. And I think that center shade is a pink to gold duochrome, which is one of my favorite duochrome shifts. And the colors in this palette are totally up my alley. And on top of this, they have pre-orders open for 8 single duochromes, 2 sets. One of the sets is called Thrills and Chills, and the other one is called Toil and Trouble. And they are each $34, and I believe everything is available on their website. Although right now the Pumpkin Kisses and Autumn Wishes is sold out. Hide my wallet, as I said. Maybe I'll pick up something I shouldn't, but can't promise. This next brand I've never heard of, but when I saw this palette, I thought, interesting. So the name of the brand is Forest Scent Cosmetics. If you know anything about this brand, where they're even located, write down in the comments below, please. And the name of the palette is Hollowed Ground, and it's $25. It's already available. This color story isn't fall, this color story is winter, but it's very beautiful. They have a bunch of other kind of spooky themed things at the same time, a mirror, tumbler, lip balm, and so on. So it's sort of a collection of sorts. I don't think this palette is unique enough to merit me spending money on it, but I might change my mind. The next release is not very new. This is Clarity Cosmetics' Apocalypse palette. Absolutely gorgeous palette. A little pricey though. It's $63. And I think the reason it's $63 is because it has 3 multichrome shades. Do I want to spend that much money for a palette today? I don't know. I have to think about it. There's a lot of very exciting things coming out, so I don't know if I want to spend money on it right now. Okay, friends, we're done with the list, and we're also done with the eye looks. And to complete the full look, I added Manila from Ofra to my lips. So that was a super lengthy list, right? Let me know if there was anything you're excited about, anything you're buying or you have already purchased, and your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks again for being here with me. I love you all. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this. And until next time, bye.